This is entitled, "And This Is Why Your Band Should Not Open for Warrant." It was 1984 when I moved to Los Angeles from a small redneck town of 7,000 people in the Northwest. I came to Los Angeles ostensibly to be an artist. I knew I had to get away fast and far from the monster truck rallies and kegger party existence of my teenage years as quickly as I could. That meant flying to either Los Angeles or New York. In New York, I'd seen Taxi Driver. There's no fucking way that was happening. Besides, Los Angeles was the home to the bands that I loved. I might as well have been a prototype for Axl Rose in the Welcome to the Jungle video. Hayseed kid with big hair and bigger dreams and absolutely no fucking clue comes to Hollywood at the apex of the metal explosion. Motley Crue, Dokken, Rat, Poison, Wasp, Quiet Riot, dozens and dozens and dozens of others emerged from the city, and by God, I was going to make it mine. I was sure of it. Just like the thousands and thousands that came every single month during that year. Now, Los Angeles and Hollywood in the 80s was a very different place. It wasn't even close to being the same as it is now. You could taste the air in the mornings when you walked out because of the pollution. Hairspray was truly toxic and plasticine. It was genuinely a dangerous town, at times deadly, but most of all to someone in their late teens and early 20s, with that undeniable sense of invincibility and immortality, it was exciting as fuck. In this cleaned up, safe sex, post just say no, 12-step in present day we live in, it's almost impossible to convey to someone who wasn't there just the depths, how deep the depths of decadence could dive in the 80s. At what other time and what other place could you possibly have a classmate show up at your dorm room with an 8-ball of pure coke that they'd liberated from their film producer father's coat? They'd happily share it with you, no strings attached. There's always strings attached. But that's a story for another day. One of my first jobs in Los Angeles was as a storyboard and production artist for rock videos for the bands that inspired me. Bands I'd spent scores of stoned hours in the dark of my room, listening to arpeggio guitars and screaming caterwauls, letting the sonic power tear away things like hesitation, second guessing, and fear. Those of us who loved metal during this time, yeah, we'd heard the fucking bullshit arguments that there was backmasking in the songs that would make gullible and weak listeners do horrible things, that they'd kill people, they'd kill themselves. Like the albums were sponsored by the NRA or something. We knew that was bullshit. But there was magic in it. If you listen closely, it would whisper to you between the staccato double beat of a bass drum. You can be anything. They will mock you, deride you, tell you you can't. Do not listen. You have a greater destiny than they can possibly comprehend. And I'd accepted that magic into my heart. I'd let that spell be cast. And look, here I was, 9 months later, 18 years old. I'm standing in for Steve and Tyler as they set lights. I'm watching Tawny Katane ride on the hood of Marty Callner's Jag. I'm watching Paul Stanley do that weird hose step dance he did in all his 80s videos. And no, I never did ask him what the fuck that was about. These gigs led to me meeting the touring keyboard player for Dio. We talked, he learned I was a singer, he told me there was a group of guys I needed to talk to, because they had a band. They were from rural Washington as well, and they needed a singer, and supposedly they rocked. I went to their practice room in North Hollywood. I listened to them. They did indeed rock. Their guitarist scoffed that Megadeth and Metallica were quote-unquote pussies, and he would quote-unquote show them what it really meant to shred. Now, Dave wasn't giving hollow boasts. I'd never seen a two-guitar team play that fast, that precise, and perfect harmony. It was like Bach on methadone. It was amazing, and we hit it off at once. Now, I wrote deep and meaningful lyrics, socially aware, very serious on the subject matter, to match the multiple time changes and insanely complex melody lines. Songs got better, and we got tighter, and we truly felt like we had something special going on. Musician friends of ours who were in mid-level bands like Alcatraz and Rough Cut, they agreed this was something different. Top of the motherfucking word, Ma. And one day, the other guitarist, Mike, comes in, beaming like he just had a day of free lap dances at the Tropicana. And he said, "Boys, we're playing the Troubadour." For a kid that grew up reading about the bands he loved, that they played 3 venues, Gazzarri's, the Whiskey, or the Troop. Now, there's a significant difference between those bands and us, the era we were in and the era they had. And That was that every club, in order to make money off of the 20 wannabe rock stars that were in every square block of Los Angeles, there was a policy now called pay for play. Each band was given a block of tickets when you had a venue. It is your responsibility as that band to sell them. You could sell them for $5, $10, sometimes $15, but you were responsible for selling your entire block before the show. That also meant that you had to pay the club if you didn't sell every ticket. So not only were you not making any money for a venue gig, but there were odds that were very high that you'd lose money in a lot of it. Dave's reaction? Dude, this fucking sucks! Yeah, well, at least we're playing the truth. Everyone says we're doing something special. We just have to look at it as the cost of doing biz, and we'll get signed. Yeah, we'll get signed. Then Dave noticed on the ticket, above our names, special guests. Our imagination went nuts, coming up with a million combinations. Who could it be? Anthrax? Crew was working on their new album, maybe them. Queensryche had been spotted in town working on a new video. Who could it be? I'll spare you the living hell of 15 days walking up and down Sunset Boulevard trying to hand sell tickets to every single person that walked by, when the people directly behind us and the people directly in front of us are doing the exact same thing. We got rid of all the tickets. Finally the night came. We're playing the truth. Small town redneck me is freaking the fuck out. So were the other guys. But we dealt with it in a calm and rational and professional manner. Dave was a raging alcoholic. Mike was a stoner. Me? I lived up to my Northwest heritage to the philosophy, what's my drug of choice? Well, what do you got? We've got a 25-minute set as we're loading in. The promoter comes by and gives us the rundown. If we go long, they cut our amps. Dave nods, Mike nods. I nod. There's a lot of nodding. We're cool. All our songs are around 8 minutes long, so we'll do 3 and out. Mike then asks the question. The question. So, who's the special guest? The promoter grins the biggest, happiest, most genuine grin I've ever seen on these scum-sucking fuckers that run promotions. Warrant! Now, to put this in perspective, this is pre-Cherry Pie, pre-Bobby Brown Warrant. But it wasn't pre-holy fuck, you've gotta be fucking kidding me, these guys make Poison seem like fucking Motorhead Warrant. Mike and I try and calm Dave down. Dave wants to walk. Fuck was said at least 400 times during a 60-second period, setting a new world record. We pointed out that label people would be there. We busted our ass to sell all of those stupid tickets for this reason. And mutual loathing of the headlining band could not stand in our way. Dave agreed, mild mid-profanity, and headed over to the bar. He appeared right as we were going on again. His Ibanez slung over his shoulder, a fifth of vodka in each hand. Mike and I looked at each other and we shrugged. Dave was a professional drunk. He was like Bukowski with finger tapping. We'd seen him play under alcoholic conditions that would put Leatherman into the hospital. We were not worried. The first fifth was down by the time we were done with the first song. 8 minutes, 1/5. What could possibly go wrong? I didn't have time to worry about Dave. I'm trying to get over on the audience, trying to connect them. I'm feeling like Daltrey and Tommy going, see me, hear me. And they're giving me stone walls. Blank expressions are the best reaction. Many of them look, too many of them look, in horror like I've raped the corpse of their beloved family pet in front of them. Finally, 23 minutes, 45 seconds later, we finish. Dave, with the half of the remaining fifth of vodka in his hand, grabs the mic from me and screams into it, fuck you, and stumbles away. There's a reason we didn't let Dave write lyrics. And with that, we were headed off stage, immediately blocked by the promoter and the singer of Warrant, Janie Lane. He shoves us, yelling, we're the stars here. You're supposed to be warming them up for us, man. That widdly shit, what the fuck is that? Dave stands there a moment, looks nonplussed, spins the fifth in his hand like some acrobatic drunken ninja, and brings it down with full force. over Janie's head, saying, "Fuck you." It shatters. There's vodka, there's glass, there's blood, all flying in slow motion. There are hands on us. They're shoving us. Janie's head is on the ground, bleeding. His eyes are closed. Is he dead? Well, this will be a real hoot if it is. There's screams. Dave is cackling as the owner yells, telling us, "We're done in this town. We will never play at any venue ever again." We dealt with this in a calm and rational and professional manner. Mike was a stoner, and me, I got in my car the next morning and I drove back to Washington, and this is why your band should not open for Warrant.